Welcome to the Weird and the Weary. I'm Jason. With me is Kevin.
Hello there.
And Lee.
How's it going?
And today we're here to talk to you about how to get away with the perfect crime if you have a twin. Makes it easy.
Right, yeah.
Who do you blame? Wasn't me, it was that guy.
Yeah, it was that guy over there. You can tell by his goatee. He's evil.
No. He shaved his goatee. We both had goatees. You know, I mean, really, it's like that's the android on the human kind of thing.
Ooh.
Except he's the criminal, I'm the good brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the DNA. His DNA has goatees, mine doesn't.
Everybody knows that. Just look in the microscope.
Right. If you were fans of Knight Rider a long time ago, Michael Knight, David Hasselhoff, he had a counterpart. I can't remember his name.
Probably Day Rider.
Day Rider.
Okay.
Let me see, rider. What's the opposite of riding? Walking.
Driving. Oh.
Walking.
Ooh.
Day walker, night
Day walker.
rider.
Oh, nice.
Day walker.
That sounds like
So then he's Blade.
daytime prostitute.
No, but then he's Blade.
Oh, okay.
Pay your taxes.
I didn't see the rest of the Blade movies. I saw the first one.
The second one was good. The third one had potential, but it was bad. Ryan Reynolds, he was all right, but he played Hannibal King.
I didn't even know he was in that.
Yeah, no. Jessica.
Sorry to segue back, but
Yeah.
Sure, bring it back.
Wrap it up.
Garth Knight was Michael Knight's counterpart, his twin brother, but he had the goatee, he had the Van Dyke.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had the
What was his
mustache,
name?
and it was Garth Knight. So Michael Knight and then Garth Knight, who looked like him, but he was angry. If you look it up, just look up Garth Knight on the web.
Okay.
You'll see an angry-looking Michael Knight, or David Hasselhoff, if you please. And
Wait, so it's actually David Hasselhoff
it
playing
was
the same guy?
Yeah. And
Was
they
it
split
with
screened
a
him
K
in.
or N?
Michael Knight.
Oh,
yeah,
my goodness
Knight
gracious.
Rider. Remember,
Oh,
it was
my
Knight
God.
Rider.
This is horrible.
Double
I love
entendre.
this.
Yeah, isn't that great?
That is so...
Oh, there's an even better one with him just looking furious.
Ooh, yeah, he looks mad.
He looks really pissed off there. So Garth Knight.
Look at this. He smokes cigars. He's bad to the bone.
Right, Michael Knight never smoked.
He looks like a bad Tom Jones.
He also wears blazers. You know, Michael Knight always wore leather coats, and
Yeah.
he drove that nice robot car. I don't think Garth Knight had his own car, unless he had Car.
He looks like
K-A-R-R. That was Kit's twin.
he looks like he would have been a cross between Tom Jones and whatchamacallit there, Chico and the Man there, Freddie Prinze.
So it was a big thing, though.
Garth
There was a
Knight.
lot of stuff about twin brothers in TV early on, like in the 80s, like Simon and Simon. You know, they were twin. They're supposed to be twin brothers. They're paternal twin brothers.
they were.
Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. Actually, I'm just making shit up. I don't even know if they're actual. I think they were brothers in the
No,
show.
They were not twins, homie.
They weren't paternal twins.
No, dude. No, not if there was like a 10-year difference between the births.
And then we had Arnold
Here's your
Schwarzenegger
twin. Oh.
and Danny DeVito as twins in a movie.
Oh, that's right. There was something about that.
They were paternal twins for sure. I mean, Danny maybe looks like Arnold a little bit, like his thigh. But, you know, then we had bands like the Thompson Twins. You know, we had a lot of twins happening.
Yeah, people really like twin stuff.
Right, Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Whoa.
Wow.
But what would the twins? Reality and unreality?
I don't know. Whatever David Lynch thought. It's fine.
I never saw that, but I'm willing to believe you.
Yeah, they're not twins, man. Come on, Gerald McRaney and Jameson Parker.
Well,
Jameson,
I'm
Jameson
saying
Parker looking like a nice
paternal
Chuck Norris.
twins. Paternal twins.
Look at him, nice Chuck Norris.
No, I'm saying in the television show. I'm not saying Gerald McRaney and the guy.
I'm talking about in the show,
mustache.
yeah, but the age difference, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean...
It's television.
Yeah.
It's television.
He's my twin just 10 years earlier.
But every once in a while, we all dream of committing the most perfect crime.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like, oh man, if I could walk through walls like Moon Knight.
Sure, yeah. You're just sitting at work daydreaming. You're like, look at that huge pile of cash.
Yeah, just, you know, super speed.
Yep.
Or me and some buddies.
Right.
Just
I thought you were going to say Kitty Pryde earlier. You said Moon Knight.
Nice. Teleport in like Jumper. That was just the best.
Ooh, that would be cool too. You know, or just those heist movies are always neat too.
Oh,
like
sure.
Italian Job, that was a fun movie. The
Or Out of This World, Touch the Fingers Together, Stop Time.
wow, we just lost a whole bunch of listeners because they have no idea what we're talking about. Because I even forgot about that show.
That's what Wikipedia is for,
Yeah,
homie.
Burt Reynolds was the voice in that.
Oh.
Out of This World. girl could stop time by doing the
ET phone home?
No, the hot dog optical illusion thing. You know, like if you put your fingers together and real close to your eyes, you see a little hot dog in the middle.
Oh.
You ever do that?
No.
No, try it. Go ahead.
Well, let me do it right now.
Yeah, see a little hot dog?
Oh, wiener. Welcome to Wienerville.
Look at that. First time you've seen a wiener between his fingers. Great.
As far as you know, sure.
Yeah, but most people, they have a conscience. You know, they don't want to get caught. They don't want to get in trouble. Nobody wants to get any kind of, you know, marks on their permanent record.
My permanent record.
You and your buddies aren't going to really, you know, we're not just talking on the podcast and then we're going to go, you know, talk about rolling an armored car because that's just something people don't do.
Yeah, right. We're not going to talk about that while we're being recorded.
No. It's premeditated.
Everything's being watched. You're on camera, I don't know, some crazy amount of times a day, like 20 times a day maybe, average.
I believe that.
You know, so yeah, I mean, crime, it doesn't pay, and trying to do it these days, it's just too much of a hassle.
Sure, yeah. Technology is way too outrageous.
Right.
I feel like I have very little chance of succeeding against it.
But if you have a twin, things could be a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, for instance, in January of 2009, 7-story department store in Berlin was broken into.
Scheiße.
The jewelry department of Kaufhaus des Westerns, a.k.a. the KaDeWe. I think that's KaDeWe?
No, that seems
KaDeWe?
correct to me.
KaDeWe.
Based on my one semester of German, that sounds correct.
Yeah, it was robbed of everything. $6.8 million of everything.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's quite the robbery.
And it was 3 thieves. So this was all caught on CCTV. The 3 individuals caught sliding down ropes from the skylights. They're wearing masks and gloves. They're doing everything to cover their identity.
Sure, yeah.
And doing some cool acrobatics, too.
I believe that. I'm in my mind's eye, I'm picturing some Mission Impossible stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Spread eagle out, you know, sweat drip.
Watch this movie, Jaeger.
But one of the burglars, they dropped one of their latex gloves during the escape.
Oh, jeez.
And 2009, you know, DNA was pretty hard evidence still. So
Yeah.
it, you know, became really hard evidence years prior. So yeah,
So it's just like Mission Impossible. He actually dropped the sweat.
he did, because that was what was in the glove, just a little drop of sweat.
That's what he caught away. He's like, yeah, I throw the glove away now.
And when the police did their DNA test, it came up with a match. It's obviously this person had a record before.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Just a little bloop in the glove.
Just a little bloop.
And it was a little bit too successful because there was 2 matches.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be 99.8% accurate.
Right.
2 matches, that kind of strikes it down a little bit, you know? I mean, how can we have 2 matches in our database? Did somebody input it twice? I don't
Probably.
know.
It was just a typo.
That's a lot of characters to type in as a typo, you know, like when you're typing the Gattaca stuff, you know, you're just manually typing it.
Nah, it's cool. They scripted it, so it's just a misfire.
No, it was an employee named Maria. She was eating couscous that day and was very tired and multitasking.
Oh, yeah, and couscous. A big couscous meal would make you sleepy.
Sure.
That's just semolina.
Oh, the couscous was good. Did I just do that? No.
It's just the food's so nice they named it twice.
So further investigation showed that these matches actually belonged to a pair of identical twins, Hassan and Abbas. And they're troublemakers, been in trouble for fraud and theft. So with these results, they set off to look for them, and they arrested them on February 11th.
Ooh, both of them?
Both of them.
A couple of bad boys.
Charged with burglary, and they're facing 10 years in prison.
Ooh.
So I don't know how much of that 6.8 mil they could have gotten rid of, but they didn't have a lot of time.
Right.
You know, they were probably were just really thinking they were in the clear still, I would imagine, you know, like, glove, you know, what could I leave?
I think they actually did catch them in a gambling house, so they were doing their best to get away with some of that money.
Okay. So just, a little quick gain, maybe?
Sure, see if it goes up or down. Who cares?
Sure.
Yeah, because I was thinking they would want to sit on it for a bit before they would even want to move on it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Spend it ASAP.
If they're in the registry, they're obviously not that intelligent. You know, they pulled off something big, and now they're trying to, gamble it off. Hey, planning crimes, it's never perfect, right?
Right.
There's always a variable you forget about.
So, forget about something, some little detail.
Or something fits in that you didn't anticipate.
Exactly.
Who would have thought that would fit in there?
I didn't know that bird would land right there where we need to stand. Fuck.
But they only spent about a month in jail. A month.
Wow.
And while they were waiting for their case to be reviewed and ultimately thrown out, the courts could not determine which of the brothers took place in the crime.
Ooh.
Now, they both have records.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's tough. How can you, the DNA's identical.
Yeah.
And
all you got's people on camera with masks and gloves that all look the same.
Right.
Which one of you did it? Was it you, Hassan, or was it you, Abbas? It was him. They both point to each other.
And since the courts couldn't determine who was who, they deemed it not possible for them to be responsible for the break-in because they couldn't determine who it was.
Right. It could have been either one or both, but they wouldn't know.
And here we are, back to the beginning. Germany. The Niederdietzen somehow was involved in this shit.
I believe it.
He's the ringleader. He's the
he was the third one.
Right. What do you think financed the Tickle movie? About $3.2 million in jewels because they blew the other half.
The other.
So he was the
rummy.
second. He was the second Featherman.
So they just they couldn't punish a potentially innocent person because their DNA was identical.
So how long did this last? So from January to February?
And until early March, and then they were released.
Yeah, just a few months.
And they got away with it, and that's,
Germany's efficient with a lot of shit, huh?
Well, it brought up a whole new series of checks and balances, really. How do you go about something? This was unique to the law system.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like this had been in any court system, really. I mean,
And then there was an epidemic of twin criminals doing shit and getting away with it.
I would hope so. That's like supervillain shit.
Yeah, once you see that happen, you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
Hey, twin bro, you see that?
Dude, I saw it on YouTube.
Hans, get your ass over here.
And that's how you got Logan and Jake Paul.
Oh, wow. This is all coming full circle.
Are they twins?
I don't know.
They're idiots.
Oh, wow.
Same. They're both the same kind of idiot.
Do we even want to have that? Well, actually, hey, we can get extra fucking guys. Yeah, leave it in. Fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck
I was
those
going to
guys.
say fuck them. I don't even want to waste time with them.
Oh, I'm just saying that, we're going to talk about idiot twins.
Let's get some hate
There's some
followers.
recent ones.
Who cares?
Fuck.
Like anybody's listening. like Jake Paul's, he's too busy, shaving his balls on YouTube. Now, sometimes, brothers, families, they start organized crime of their own. Not uncommon.
Brothers, ding, ding, ding.
And in this case, it was two twin brothers, Ronald and Reginald, or Ronnie and Reggie, Kray. The Kray brothers, they were known as the gang, the Firm, and they were during the 50s and 60s in London.
And that's where John Grisham got his inspiration for his title.
It wasn't Tom Cruise. Everybody thinks it was Tom Cruise, but no.
That's the fucking Krays.
It was the Kray brothers. I mean, they were tougher than lawyers.
That's probably where that slang came from, right? When they were like, this shit's cray.
It's Kray. Yeah, that's exactly where it came from.
All right,
Because
this
those
makes
guys
sense.
they were Kray.
Yeah.
Hence why Cray twins. Boop.
Oh, because there's two of them. Wow.
Mind blown.
We blew this case wide open. Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and update Wikipedia accordingly.
We're going to have to exhume the corpses to make sure this is truly him.
Oh, there were plenty of corpses in the wake of these two. Born October 24th in 1933 in Huxton, East London, Ronnie and Reginald Kray were born to Charles and Violet. And this is before the war. So these two young men, they were 9, 10 when the Blitz happened. Kind of grew up in an era of destruction. A lot of London was just destroyed after the war. So you kind of learn how to survive. And these two, they I would say they kind of just grabbed it by the balls because they're really prolific enough to make 2 movies from.
Ooh.
Most recently, Legend with Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy plays Tom Hardy, playing the Kray brothers. It's
Okay.
amazing. He's a really good actor.
So he's pretty good at playing 2 people
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, he was Venom and Tom Hardy. It was cool.
Nice.
The accent, I'm sorry, was horrible.
I didn't see Venom.
Don't.
So growing up, in a rough way, they were discharged from royal service for fighting and theft. So being a kid, growing up after the war, you have a lot of tough times, and after so many fights and stuff, they were conscripted to go into the military. And they were called up to serve with the Royal Fusiliers in 1952. And when they reported, they attempted to leave only after a few minutes.
Oh, fuck this shit, Reggie. Let's go.
The corporal in charge tried to stop them. Getting it. I mean, like a corporal would, he'd get right in their face.
Sure, yeah.
What are you doing? Get back here! And Ronnie punched him in the chin, leaving him seriously injured.
Got him.
And the Krays, they just walked back to the East End, and and they were arrested the next morning.
I can just imagine right now. He's going up. Hey, you see those birds? What birds? Pop! Those birds. He just walks away.
And so, they got arrested. They were turned over back to the army. While AWOL, they assaulted a police constable who tried to arrest him. And while they were held prison in the Tower of London, before being transferred. They're held at the Tower of London before being transferred to the Shepton Mallet military prison, where they were waiting a court-martial. Their behavior in the prison, at the military prison, was so bad that they received dishonorable discharge. They didn't even get a court-martial. They threw tantrums. They emptied a latrine bucket over a sergeant. They dumped a Dixie, which is a large food or liquid container, full of hot tea on another guard. That sounds awful.
Yeah, what a nightmare.
Youch. They handcuffed a guard to the prison bars with a pair of stolen cuffs, and they set their bedding on fire. They're just bad dudes.
Yeah, these sound like a couple of real-life bad boys.
And
they're a piece of work.
Well, they got moved to a communal cell after they set their bedding on fire, and then they assaulted another guard with a china vase and escaped. So that just sounds like an old Three Stooges or
Yeah.
Crash. Oh, passes out. Okay, then Ronnie, let's go now. I don't know. So they escaped. They're captured really quickly, and they're going to be transferred to a civilian authority for the crimes they committed at large. They did more crimes after they got out. And they spent their last night in Canterbury drinking cider, eating crisps, and smoking cigarillos, courtesy of the young national servicemen acting as their guards. So they got a little party.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good time.
I mean, you punch that corporal? All right, man. You're great. You have a cigarillo? I hate that fucker. All right.
But if you want to know more, you should read John Pearson's book, The Profession of Violence, The Rise and Fall of the Kray Twins, HarperCollins Publishers.
Right, that's what they did the movie off of, right? The Legend.
Yeah.
So with all this going on, having the Conservative Party kind of wrapped around their finger, it's coming back to business as usual. And this led to a string of murders that eventually led to their conviction. Ronnie Kray, he shot and killed George Cornell. He was a member of the Richardson Gang. It's a rival gang in South London at the Blind Beggar Pub in Whitechapel. This was March 9th, 1966. The day before, there had been a shootout at a nightclub in Catford called Mr. Smith's, which was one of the Krays, involving the Richardson Gang. And an associate of theirs, Richard Hart, was killed that night, so as revenge, they killed George Cornell.
Damn.
This started like a whole gang war that would take up too much time to really talk about. I mean, this ignited like a whole war. It ended up with Frank Mitchell, the Mad Axeman. They helped him escape from Dartmoor prison. Jack the Hat McVitie. So, these earlier events we're just talking about, they're kind of under a veil of, behind their celebrity status. So this was kind of like the underworking stuff, these murders that happened.
Right, yeah.
Cornell and helping Mitchell escape and eventually killing Mitchell. Because he was out of control, this guy. He was just not a good guy. And in the safe house, he kind of disappeared. They were acquitted for that. Mm-hmm. But eventually they said that they shot him and put him in the ocean.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he just sounds like a wild card.
Right, that was Frank Mitchell. Jack the Hat McVitie, though, this guy, it's in October 1967, Reggie's wife committed suicide, or 4 months prior, his wife committed suicide, and Ronnie was encouraging him, because Reggie was in a pretty dark place, encouraging him to kill Jack the Hat McVitie, who was a minor member of their gang, who he failed to fulfill a contract. He didn't finish it. Got paid in advance. It was a 500-pound contract. He got 400 in advance. He never finished it. And it was to kill their financial advisor, Leslie Payne, probably to avoid any kind of tax problems, I would imagine.
Fuck, they just killed anybody.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you were useless or you were too useful, it seemed you were a target of the Kray gang, the firm here.
You had to fall just between, not either side.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So McVitie was invited to a basement flat that they owned in Stoke Newington, saying there was a big party happening. And upon entering the premises, Ronnie Kray was seated in front of him in the front room. Ronnie approached him, started swearing at him, started punching him, cut him with some glass, and Reggie and Ronnie, they started fighting with McVitie, and Reggie pointed a gun at McVitie's head and pulled the trigger twice.
Oh.
But the gun didn't discharge.
Ugh. Hate when that happens.
Click, click.
McVitie was then held in a bear hug by both the twins. Both Kray brothers bear hugged this man and started crushing the life out of him.
Oh.
McVitie was held in this bear hug by their cousin Ronnie Hart. And Reggie Kray was handed a carving knife. He stabbed McVitie in the face, stomach, chest, and then drove it into his neck, twisting the knife. Kept going as the guy's lying on the floor, just, dying. Now, Reggie just committed murder in public, pretty much, in front of somebody. I mean, it's their cousin, but
he's not a twin, so you can't trust him.
Right, and nobody in the gang really thought McVitie needed to die. I mean, it was a small debt. It was something that could have been settled in a bunch of different ways.
Sure, 400 pounds isn't the end of the world.
Right, but it got messy. It got really messy, really quick, and
probably because all the stabbing.
It was a little extreme.
A little slippery.
Yeah, I mean, it was just very gory, very angry,
Slippery when wet.
The thing about McVitie, though, was he had a little problem with, leaving a messy scene behind. He didn't like to do drugs. He liked to drink, and he even had some words about the twins to the other guys. He said, do them in if they ever kind of crossed him. So there was some tension between these guys, and with some more members of the crew, they attempted to dispose of the body. McVitie's body was too big to fit in the back of the car, so they had to. They wrapped it up, put it in the back seat of the car.
What'd they make it look like? Like big piece of beef.
Big side of beef.
Oi, my mother likes some beef.
So as they're driving along, they're crossing a tunnel, and one of the guys loses the guy that has the body, and driving around for 15 minutes trying to look for each other. They finally see each other outside of a church, and the car ran out of fuel with McVitie's body in it.
Whoops. Forgot to top that thing up.
So they had no alternative to dump it in the churchyard, they thought, and try to make it look like another gang south of the River Thames was a culprit. So bodies left in the car. 3 guys return home. Guys return home. They give a call that it had been dealt with. They didn't say how.
Right. They were just like, yeah, don't even worry about it anymore.
Didn't take long for the twins to find out that McVitie's car was just wrapped up loosely in the back of seat of an abandoned car. Understandably, they were pretty livid about it. The Krays call Freddie Foreman, and Freddie Foreman was a member of the gang. He ran a pub in Southwark, and they asked him if he could dispose of McVitie's body. The day was starting to, because they left the body at night. Day's coming. Foreman found the car, broke into it, and took it to the New Haven area. And with the help of a trawler man, they wrapped it in chicken wire and they dumped it in the English Channel. So this event really got people to start turning against the Krays, even members of the Kray gang, and started singing against him because this, like I said earlier, this murder didn't need to happen.
Right.
He didn't do that much wrong to them. He was a fuck up, but the way they killed him was horrible. Nobody thought he'd need to die, especially the crew. The crew didn't think he needed to die. Excuse me. So, yeah, Scotland Yard got involved. And
yeah, because at that point, if they're turning on him for 400 pounds, all the rest of the guys in the crew are going to be like, if that's all it takes, we're going to be lined up to get fucked next.
Right, I gave him 50p, and, I owe him 50p for the coffee, but now he's going to cut my face off.
Oh, Jesus.
Jeez, no. Nope. Scotland Yard, they had an investigator named Leonard Reed, or Leonard Nipper Reed.
Ooh.
Nipper.
I don't know where the nipper comes from. It's probably because he nips the cases in the bud.
Nice.
No, he just liked to listen to phonographs.
Inspector Reed, he was promoted to the murder squad of Scotland Yard, and his assignment was to bring the Krays down. It's been too long. The Krays, they're turning like wild dogs now at this point, really.
Yeah, they're going cray, you might say.
Right. Cray cray. Cray cray. Oh, two Krays. Cray cray. The Krays go cray cray. Krays are cray cray. So during the first half of 64, Reed started investigating into the Krays' activities, and the public and official denials of Ronnie's relationship with Boothby made the evidence he collected initially useless, because there was no fucking way they were going to let anybody into that. They wanted that power. We see it today. Kind of happens like that today. We'll just go with whomever's in power. Mm-hmm. So he went on. He went after the twins with a new case, which came up against the East End's quote-unquote wall of silence, meaning anybody who was asked to talk wouldn't. They're discouraged. They're afraid of the muscle in town, the Krays.
Right, yeah. Snitches get stitches, all that.
Oh, shit.
Well, by the end of 67, Reed had built up enough evidence to get a case against the Krays. He had witness and statements that incriminated him, and he had other evidence. But unfortunately, none of these made a convincing case to any one charge. So there was a lot of crimes happening, but there wasn't one enough to try to convict him on anything. But early in 68, the Krays employed this man, Alan Bruce Cooper, who had sent gentleman Paul Elvery to Glasgow to buy explosives for a car bomb. Yeah, they're getting that serious.
Yeah, jeez.
And Elvery was a radio engineer, and after police detained him in Scotland, he confessed to being involved to 3 murder attempts. Evidence was weakened by Cooper, who claimed that an agent for the U.S. Treasury Department investigating links between the American Mafia and the Kray gang, and the botched murders that were happening were his attempt to put a blame on the Krays. Now, Cooper being employed as a source by one of Reed's superiors, Reed tried using him as a trap, but they were wise to that. Eventually, Scotland Yard decided to arrest the Krays on the evidence they had already collected in hopes that other witnesses might talk more about it. So, May 8th, 1968, the Krays and 15 other members of the firm were all arrested. This was a pretty big thing because, we have RICO cases now where you can, convict everyone involved.
Right.
But they didn't have anything like that at this time. So it took great lengths to get the manpower to collect everybody at once. And it was done so covertly that the Krays didn't, even with all their influence, they didn't really have many whispers of what was going on. So Reed, who had interviewed all these defendants in secret and offered each, some kind of like deal. But the Krays, while they're in prison, they're still scheming, and there's so many names involved in this. This guy's Scotch Jack Dixon. They're gonna get him to confess to the murder of Cornell, and their cousin Ronnie to take the McVitie, and Albert Donahoe to stand in for Mitchell. So they had guys willing to take the fall for them. But Donahoe had other plans. He wasn't gonna do this.
Oh, so much for taking the fall.
Right. And that pissed them off. That pissed the twins off. So Donahoe went right to Reed, and his mother told him to talk to the police, which he did, and they did a secret interview, and he was the first one to really tell them everything he knew. He was pretty close in the group, so he had a good lead.
He was the first domino to fall.
Right. Ronnie Hart, he wasn't arrested initially because he wasn't really a named saw of the police. He wasn't really that much. He was a petty theft guy.
Sure.
Looking for big fish.
But now Donahoe squeaked, so Hart was being looked for, and he got hunted down. He's arrested. Hart just squealed, no problem.
Yeah, he's just a little guy. He's not ready for this.
Exactly. Told him about McVitie's murder. Told him about everything that happened, except he didn't know what happened with McVitie's body because he wasn't there. He's the one who helped, held him while he got stabbed to death. But it was the other guys that took the body and left it by the church.
Way to go, cuz.
You ain't no fan of mine.
And so they basically they had two cases confirmed, and Reed already knew that Ronnie Kray had killed George Cornell, but no one's prepared to testify. There's still people afraid of him. So when they found out that Scotch Jack was trying to be led into testifying for them, he confronted him, and although he wasn't an actual witness, his testimony, helped bring these guys down. So in March 19, this went over another year and a half, and in March 1969, they were sentenced to life imprisonment with a non-parole period of 30 years for the murders of Cornell and McVitie, and those are the longest sentences ever passed in London for murder at that time.
Yeah, I was reading I guess American cinema really used them as one of the templates for creating the American gangster sort of.
Right. Yeah, you see the similarities in a lot of these films.
Oh yeah, did they use fear and intimidation and coercion as power?
Right. And the protection racket and the violent landlord organization, the VLO. Watch out for the VLO. Hopefully there's no... the homeowner associations are almost like the VLOs.
Yeah, they just have a friendlier name.
Right. They will still kill you or trash your house or whatever, do something bad. They got they got life imprisonment, possible parole in 30 years. They were allowed to attend their mother's funeral. She died in 1982. Ronnie died in 1995. Had a heart attack.
Yeah, that was it's 5 years after the first adaptation of their lives.
Reggie was allowed to attend the funeral. And during his incarceration, Reggie became a born-again Christian. Surprise, surprise. He was freed on August 26, 2000 on compassionate grounds. And this was following a diagnosis of cancer. He had bladder cancer, became terminal. And in October 1st, 2000, he died in his sleep, and he's buried beside his brother. Kind of a very flaccid end to a long-standing criminal career. But
it's fitting. It just shows, just like the rest of us, we're born and we die.
Right. You would think they would have gone out more like Scarface. But I guess not. I don't know.
Shouldn't have killed that guy of theirs.
Really?
McVitie ended it.
Yeah, it's that one thing. You overlooked
There
that
are a lot
one
of people they shouldn't have killed.
Yeah,
Sure.
but they were fine with all that. It was
Right.
McVitie that did it.
Right. McVitie, he was a fuck up. He's an idiot. Oh, shit. What was that movie? Fuck. I'd watched it with you, man. Like, the dude's like, he's like a cop or something, and like, they get an informant, and the guy's just fucking eating an English breakfast, and he's like, you're gonna buy me a pint? And he fucking like kicks the shit out of him. Oh, man. What the fuck? I can't remember the movie, but...
Was it a Guy Ritchie movie?
Yeah.
Rock and Roller?
Yeah, Rock and Roller. And
Was it Rock and
no,
Roller?
it wasn't Rock and Roll. It was god damn it. Yeah, but you overlook one thing: rubber glove, stabbing a guy while he's dead.
Leaving the car just
Well, that pissed them off.
Bodies
You know,
just...
those guys fucked that up. Like, oh, all right, let's leave it by a church. It's fine. The vicar will find. Vicar will find him.
We'll blame it on another gang. Don't worry about it. Let's just go. Let's just go.
It's consecrated land.
I've got to take a shit. I don't want to leave DNA evidence here.
This is before DNA.
This is before DNA.
Like, and it's in a church. You can't press crime charges in a church.
Look, it just hasn't been founded yet to be good. I got shit.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it went down.
That's probably exactly it.
I got a shit.
It's always simple shit.
Fuck McVitie. McVitie's an asshole anyway. Let's get out of here.
McVitie the fighty. What a bitch.
He didn't put a bunch of a fighty to the Krays. So yeah, you have a twin.
Mm-hmm.
Think really heavily about what kind of things you're gonna do together. You know, you don't really want to do crime, but if you're going to,
Don't involve your cousin.
right, or a third person that's not you, and wear better gloves that don't fall off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Smart.
yeah, that's how it works.
But if you got like triplets or something, everybody just go all in on it.
Wouldn't it be better just to do a full body latex suit?
Smart.
Keeps it all in.
If you ever wore one of those, you really can't do much until the master inflates it.
Just making a bunch of noise.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
Right.
Why does it
Gotta be stealth, guys.
Why does it smell like a BDSM dungeon in here?
Well, I see that suitcase.
Because
I got-
Hans, come out.
I got cornstarch and rubber suits.
Ooh, you know
for
just how
everyone.
to slide into
I
those.
do, yeah. It's pro style.
Perfect. I need to thicken my gravy.
Well, we call it gravy. You call it gravy. I call it musk. But whatever.
Ooh.
I just want the cornstarch. Give me the cornstarch.
On that note, I'm gonna go brush up on my cornstarching. Slip into something a little less comfortable.
Less comfortable than what you're wearing right now.
Right. Look at me.
I can't. I'm thinking.
This is how I do the show. I feel relaxed.
Ooh. That's
Hide those legs.
why I have these nice dividers up.
Yeah. Well, I took his down for this one. So.
God. Turn the lights off. Oh, wait. No, don't turn
it's
the lights off. Don't
too
turn
late,
the lights
too late.
Oh,
Oh,
shoot. Here it is. Here's the mic. Be good to yourselves. Be good to everyone. I'm Jason.
I'm Kevin.
I'm regretting doing this podcast. I'm Lee.
We're the Weird and the Weary. Catch us online. www.weirdandweary.com. Instagram, Weird and the Weary. Twitter. All those places. Anywhere. But be good to yourselves. Be good to everyone. We're the Weird and the Weary. Catch you next time. My brothers would never be good at crime.
Oh, well, you guys are going to be the worst at this.
JKL Media.
Jekyll.